Assalamu alaikum. Hey, and welcome to the Million Muslim Minds Transformation podcast. I'm your host, Abdul Shahid, the founder of the Muslim Life Coach Institute, lead coach and therapist, helping you to transform your life through the science of the Nafs. This podcast is for you if you are ready to up-level your life, get away from the fear and the anxiety and overwhelm, and create the most abundant life, beautiful relationships, and a life that you love. If you're ready for that, ready to create a legacy, let's do this. Assalamu alaikum. Hey guys, welcome to the podcast. This is a quick announcement. I want to give you a deep dive into what we're about to cover this month. On the 25th, the 26th, and the 27th of July, we are running a masterclass, a 3-day masterclass. It's a free program to help you to take everything you're learning here to the next level. Now, it's a mind health and emotional wealth reboot. It's to help you to stop feeling anything that prevents you from the life that you're after. Now, often that means we're feeling anxious, or we're stuck in fear or some sort of overwhelm that has us holding back from our lives, and it prevents us from living the lives that we want. It impedes on our lives and our lifestyle. It impedes on our opportunities, and it impacts our relationships. And the greatest loss amidst all of that is that your inner peace, that inner calm, is lost. And even when even when everyone else is looking at you from the outside thinking how amazing life is, like, often they don't know what's really happening inside, and we feel misunderstood because of that. We feel disconnected, and even when we try and explain, sometimes, like, your closest loved ones don't understand. So this is really about getting you unstuck in your mental and emotional health, and really getting you over those obstacles and learning to understand your life through the lens of the science of the Nafs. The science of the Nafs is a Quran and Sunnah based psychology model. It is a human behavioral system helping us to actually live the most amazing lives. And I want to introduce you to this reboot. This reboot is a 3-day masterclass. It's more than an introduction. It's a deep dive into the foundations of what we want to create in our lives and how we want to live. And the reality is that let's be honest, one of the problems with mainstream education, be it traditional education, the mainstream traditional education, or even the Islamic studies that we go through as when we're younger, it doesn't prepare us to deal with the emotional roller coasters of life. And those foundations, they're found in the Quran and Sunnah, yet we've almost lost them. So what we're going to be focusing on over these 3 days is actually the foundations of the science of the Nafs. And 3 days we're going to really dive in and try and lace your life with as much of it as possible, giving you a reboot and helping you to kickstart yourself to take yourself to the next level, overcome those obstacles and whatever is holding you back. Now, to live an extraordinary life where you feel inspired, where you feel like you're living on purpose, like you have direction in life, like, you need to have the key foundations in place. And that's one of the problems that we've had. We've gone through an education system in our lives, most of us, if not all of us, and even though we felt as though we had what we needed, as we go through life, we realize that there's a key ingredient missing, like the mind health, your spiritual connection, be it, how you expect your life to turn out, and how you feel supported in your life. All of those things are connected to your spiritual health, your connection to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And along with that, to understand your psychological state, to understand what triggers you, to understand how to overcome the triggers in your environment so that you're not held back by your past and you're not held back by what you're currently experiencing in your life. Like, what you want to do is you want to take these divine principles and apply them in your life. And when you do that, life changes. So on the 25th of July, Monday, the 25th of July, Tuesday and Wednesday of that week, so the 25th to the 27th, we're going to be running this masterclass. It's going to give you a primer to help you to reboot yourself. This is why we call it the mind and emotional reboot. Like, it is so important to get ourselves into a state where we can actually flourish in life despite all of the challenges that we have. So this is about living on purpose. This is about creating a sustainable inner calm and peace, so that we're not exploding in our relationships or we're not withdrawing in our relationships, and it's actually helping us to overcome all anxieties, all fears, and all of that overwhelm that keeps us so stuck in our lives. So if you are up for that, and as you can tell, I'm pretty excited. This is actually a paid program, but we've made it free. I want to invite you all to join me. Like, join the program. We're going to be running it. It's replays are going to be available for a limited period. That's really there to help you to compound the effect of the classes. You want to take it in, and you want to actually take it to a place where you can live it. So we're going to be covering a lot over these 3 days. We're going to be going into like a powerful mind state, how to get yourself into that powerful mind state, how to create a sense of true trust and reliance, where you feel your mental and emotional turmoil almost calming. You want to create a deep connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that actually supports you through your life. Because many of us, we do the rituals, day-to-day rituals, but we don't feel it. You don't feel that connection. You don't feel that support. You don't feel the emotional stability and calm, that inner contentment that you need to go through life. So we're going to be covering that. That's one, it's the foundation, and we're going to be covering that. We're going to be covering how to actually bring yourself back to that. So even if you've studied theology, even if you've studied, whatever, you've taken a deep journey, but you're still struggling, then this is for you. We're also going to be covering the emotional powerhouse. Like, the emotional powerhouse it's a psychological state, but it's all about taking ownership of your life and creating a calm confidence, creating an inner strength that actually overcomes all the negative waswas and the negative thinking and the emotional struggles that we go through day to day that actually sabotages our lives. So, any anxieties, any resentment, anger, frustration, all of those things that we really get stuck in, like, it's so easy to come out of it when you understand how to. And the problem is, this isn't something that's been taught in the mainstream. This isn't even something that we've been taught through our education system, be it Islamic or secular. Like, it's really something that is at the foundation of Islam, at the foundation of revelation, that it creates this for us. And it doesn't mean that you're going to become superhuman all of a sudden, but you're going to actually have the skills to be able to regulate yourself. It's like having a thermostat and regulating yourself. So that's the second component of the masterclass. And of course, the third component is all about connection, all about relationships, all about transforming the way that you connect to people, that your loved ones, like your children, your spouse, like why we fall into this sadness and anger, resentment, and often not even the why, but how to actually manage that and overturn that so that you don't destroy your own relationships. This is the biggest problem that we humans have in that there's constant, conflict, or even a passive level of conflict where you just disconnect and you feel as though you're not actually in a conflict, but the reality is, under the surface, all the resentment lies there, all of the anger lies there, all of the sadness lies there, and you feel stuck in that. Even when you try and overcome it, like, it just keeps coming back. And so we're going to be covering we're going to really focus in on covering this as a relationship dynamic that's going to help you to change your life. Because your life is, let's face it, your life is at least 50% relationships, right? And even if you love spending time by yourself, even if you love, all of the me time, you are 50% of your time, at the very least, you're in relationships. So whether it be your close loved ones, your friends, your parents, your in-laws. I mean, in-laws is a big issue, right? But regardless of what the issues are, regardless of how terrible they seem, like, when you understand how to actually turn these relationships, like, everything changes. So in this 3-day masterclass, we're going to be covering a lot. As you can see, it's going to be a deep dive. It's going to be a concentrated amount of I don't want to say knowledge, because knowledge doesn't always change your life. Knowledge is a prerequisite, don't get me wrong, but to know how to practically apply it into your life is the key. So we're gonna really get into that, and within that, I'm gonna give you a sneak peek at the Nafs roadmap, which is about creating the greatest version of your life ever. And this is really the foundation. All of this is really at the foundation of the science of the Nafs, is at the foundation of the Nafs Transformation program, and really, I'm going to tell you that it is the program for anyone struggling through their lives, be it in their mind health, in their emotional wealth, in their relationships, in their spiritual connection. Like, when you want to flourish in life, there are some key foundations that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has laid out. And it's not about knowing more and having lots of information. We know that. We live in the age of information. You can just Google anything. It's not about having more. Many a times I'm talking about, the things that you've heard before, but it's not about like learning more or understanding more. It's about how to take that and practically live it, how to bridge the gap between knowing and doing, and knowing and actually creating the outcomes in your life that you want. So we're gonna be doing this. So that, as you can tell, there's a lot we're going to be covering. These are 3-day masterclasses. Like, you want to go over and sign up for this immediately. This is going to be like a mind-blowing experience, like, to say the least, because it's going to help you to shift the way you're looking at your world. It's going to help you to shift the way you're looking at your relationships with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, with your loved ones, with your life, and especially with yourself. And when you can do that, you're now ready to actually build your life. We're going to get into the foundations, folks. So join me. Go to the Muslim Life Coach, the muslimlifecoach.org/masterclass. So go to the muslimlifecoach.org and sign up. You're going to love it. I'm going to love it. I'm excited, and I'm excited to be sharing a lot of this with you, and we're going to create a 2022 that's going to be the beginning of the rest of your life, inshallah. I'll see you on the other side. Jazakumullah khair. Hey, if you're ready to actually take the steps to transform your life, I want to invite you to join me on the Nafs Life Transformation Coaching Program, where I help you to take the steps to making the transformation of your mind, your relationships, and your life. Just go over to themuslimlifecoach.org/live. That's the muslimlifecoach.org/live.